Hell Husbands, Chapter 2, Haunted House. Alastor watched as Vincent grinned while wiping some of the blood spatter from under his eye. Vincent had decided to stick around New Orleans and had gained a higher position after they'd slaughtered their entitled pig of a boss together one night all those months ago. It had been quite fun working with him, but it was also rather terrifying. He could see the ever-growing attraction in Vincent's eyes and posture around him. He'd seen suspicious glances towards the two of them when they simply stood in the hall to talk about a broadcast he'd been doing as well. What was worse, though, was that the attraction was mutual. He gravitated just as much towards Vincent. They'd even kissed a couple of times, and it hadn't been revolting. It was amazing, but it was dangerous. It could get them both lynched. Vincent seemed to notice his mood dipping as he looked up at him and said, "Al, what's the matter?" Alastor simply grimaced as he watched Vincent's eyes widen. Vincent stopped what he was doing immediately and came over to him and gently laid a hand on his shoulder, not commanding his attention, just cautiously questioning, being careful of his boundaries. Vincent's touch thus far had yet to bother him nearly as much as any other being's touch. Vincent stared into his eyes with undisguised worry. Alastor growled in frustration as he shook Vincent's hand off and looked away from those tantalizingly different-colored eyes. Vincent immediately drew back from him and held his hand out while saying, Okay, no touching. Got it, sorry." His Vincent, always considerate. Alastor tensed his jaw before he quietly said, "We can't do this anymore." He heard Vincent let out a confused sound. Alastor continued as he looked back up at Vincent, whose face showed every emotion he felt. "This will end with both of us dead." Vincent simply blinked and shrugged lightly as he said, "We'll all die someday, Al. Why should we spend it forcing ourselves to be something we're not?" Alastor splayed his arms to the side as he said, "Vincent, this will never work out. I don't know if you've noticed like I have, but people at work are becoming suspicious. We are spending too much time together." Alastor proceeded to uncharacteristically hug himself and bite his lip. Vincent said, "Then let them think. I'm not going to stop being around you. You're my light. You're my everything." Alastor teared up as he then exclaimed, "I can't be. I'll never be what you want me to be. What I want us to be. We're both men. I'm mixed Creole and you're white as white can be, plus we're both serial killers. It can't work." He looked away from Vincent as he heard the man hum in what sounded like sadness. He didn't even realize that he'd actually started crying until he felt a gentle touch at his chin and Vincent was turning his face towards him. Vincent then said, "I know there are challenges. We've been careful, so careful. We'll continue to be careful. But after all this world has done to you, you deserve happiness, my love. I'm not going to let prejudice of other people keep us apart. And as for the killings, well, we have our ways. No one's going to stop us. I know there's nothing that I can say to stop the worry, but I'm not going to leave your side. I guess we'll have to be more careful, but they can speculate all they want about us. Technically, I'm one of your bosses now, so it's not even entirely suspicious. And with how careful we are outside of work, no one will find out the true nature of our relationship. We'll be okay." Alastor sniffled lightly as Vincent gently wiped away some of his tears. He still had his doubts, but his Vincent was so persistent. He'd never let go, and Al never wanted him to. He was afraid that it would lead to their downfall, ever afraid that if they were found out, he would be the reason for his love's death. He went to help dismember the corpse as his thoughts remained in turmoil.